History
Picture
of Claremore,
this.
Oklahoma.
Claremore, a city that once radiated with such promise and grandeur. Let me take you back to the 1900s, when its streets bustled with life and possibility. The air was filled with a sweet aroma of progress. As steam engines whistled through the industrial district and horse-drawn carriages clattered along cobblestone streets, factory smokestacks pierced the sky like proud flagpoles, symbols of prosperity and innovation. Those were the glory days, when Claremore's textile mills employed thousands, and the downtown area gleamed with newly constructed Art Deco buildings. Children played freely in neighborhood parks, and weekend markets drew crowds from miles around. The city's theater district rivaled those of much larger metropolitan areas, and our university was renowned throughout the region. But then came the turn of the millennium, and with it, the first cracks in our facade began to show. Like a slow-moving storm, change crept in uninvited. The textile mills, once our pride, started closing one by one. Technology evolved, but somehow Claremore didn't evolve with it. The bright promises of the digital age seemed to bypass our city entirely, leaving us stuck in an increasingly obsolete past. The 2000s unveiled a dystopian reality we never imagined possible. Our beloved Art Deco buildings began crumbling, their maintenance too costly for a shrinking tax base. The theater district dimmed, then went dark. Young people, once proud to call Claremore home, started leaving in droves, seeking opportunities in more vibrant cities. And now, as I stand here in the sweltering heat of mid-June 2025, looking at what remains of our once great city, the contrast is heartbreaking. The temperature today must be pushing 95 degrees, but there's no relief in our once popular public pools. They've all been closed for years now. The few remaining residents shuffle through the heat-soaked streets, past faded murals that once celebrated our history. The university that was our crown jewel now operates at quarter capacity, its grand buildings echoing with emptiness. Our population has dwindled to less than half of what it was in our prime. Yet, even in this decline, there's a strange beauty to Claremore, like an aging movie star whose faded glamour still hints at former glory. Some say cities, like people, have natural life cycles. Perhaps Claremore's story isn't over. Perhaps it's just waiting for its next chapter. But for now, we remain caught between our magnificent past and an uncertain future. Our streets whispering tales of what once was and what might have been. Begin Nil 15, Decline of Claremore. Old World Claremore. What the hell happened? Claremore was great in the early 1900s. What happened to it that caused it to hit rock bottom for a century? Oklahoma's decline, though not a total collapse, can be attributed to several interwoven historical, economic, and infrastructural shifts. Once a thriving regional hub, especially in the early 20th century, Claremore's relative decline in influence and population growth compared to nearby cities like Tulsa was shaped by the following factors. 1. Railroad rerouting and bypass by major routes. Claremore thrived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as a stop on the Frisco and Kansas City Southern rail lines. But Route 66, 1926, initially brought attention and traffic through Claremore. Later realignments of U.S. Route 66 and the rise of the interstate system, I-44, redirected travelers and commerce away from the city, favoring larger metro areas like Tulsa and Oklahoma City. This diverted economic opportunities and hindered development of industrial or transportation infrastructure in Claremore. 2. Missed oil boom opportunities nearby. Tulsa became the oil capital of the world during the 1910s-1930s, attracting wealth, infrastructure, and population. Claremore was close geographically, but distant economically. It didn't experience the same oil field discoveries or development on a large scale. This meant Tulsa rapidly outpaced Claremore in size, investment, and national significance. 3. Loss of radium water. Tourism industry. Claremore once had a national reputation as a health resort due to its radium-rich sulfur springs at the Claremore Radium Water Baths. In the 1920s-30s, these healing waters brought visitors and tourism dollars. However, the rise of modern medicine and skepticism toward radium-based treatments by the 1950s discredited the industry, ending a major draw for the town. 4. Limited industrial base. Unlike Tulsa, a hub for aerospace, oil, and manufacturing, Claremore lacked major corporate headquarters or diversified industries. It remained heavily reliant on agriculture and small-scale businesses, which became less profitable with mechanization and rural depopulation during the mid-20th century. 5. Demographic and economic drift. Many residents moved to Tulsa for employment, especially after World War II. Younger generations sought better economic and cultural opportunities in larger cities. This led to a brain drain and slow population growth relative to nearby metros. 6. Urban planning and investment gaps. Claremore didn't develop the infrastructure or cultural landmarks needed to become a long-term destination. Urban renewal in other parts of Oklahoma, e.g. Bricktown in OKC or revitalization in Tulsa, far outpaced similar efforts in Claremore. 7. Modern suburbanization of Tulsa. As Tulsa expanded, many nearby towns became bedroom communities rather than independent economic centers. Claremore fits this pattern today. A small city with local charm, but largely dependent on the Tulsa metro area for employment and services. Today, still alive, but not a boomtown. Claremore is not abandoned or dead. It remains home to Rogers State University, the birthplace of Will Rogers, with associated tourism and a museum, a relatively stable town with about 20,000 residents. But its past potential as a major tourist and economic hub has faded, largely due to being outpaced, outinvested, and bypassed by broader regional development. Would you like a speculative what-if timeline, imagining Claremore as a major city, or a visual map of its peak era versus now?